First, the Samsung Note 7. And now, the Evga Gtx 1080, which uses Samsung memory. Coincidence? Well, yes, actually, but that's not the point, and you should still watch this video. As of about 4 hours ago, there were two users that reported their Evga 1080s have both gone up in flames due to the VRM issue. Now, this issue had been addressed previously by Evga, and they said that it was not a huge concern to them, and they would release a BIOS update as well as a thermal mod to all owners of the Evgas that were affected by this issue, and that it would resolve the problem. Now, they've also said if you were uncomfortable, they would allow you to cross-ship your card back for an RMA to have a new card shipped to you that already had the BIOS update as well as the thermal mod applied. However, the real concern is that in an event where your graphics card potentially goes up in flames or catches fire, it will cause damage to your other components, and Evga hasn't been very forthcoming about what their official policy is in that case. The user that reported his issue to the forums got mixed results, with US customer service telling him that unfortunately there's no way to prove this and other damage to the components would not be covered, whereas the German-based Evga customer service said that they might be able to replace some of that damage. Now, what is potentially troubling about this is Evga's official stance. Their official stance on this issue has always been, we are aware of this, we test this ourselves, to us it is not an issue. However, we realize users want a lower temperature, therefore we'll be releasing a BIOS update as well as offering thermal mods to people who are interested in lowering their temperatures even further, even though it is already within design specs. Now, this statement is on Evga's forum and they have not retracted it as far as I know. I'm wondering what they will respond, whether they'll retract that statement and say that, the BIOS update is needed and right now the cards without it are not within design specifications, or whether they'll chalk it up to coincidence and say, you know what, the cards are still fine, this is just a random coincidence. Now, what Evga should be doing, in my opinion, is recalling all cards that have been already sent to resellers such as Amazon, Newegg, etc. This is very important because right now if you're buying an Evga card, you have no idea if it has the new BIOS updated or whether it has the thermal mod issue fixed. All you can do is kind of hope, and if it doesn't, then you have to either ship it back or order stuff and be kind of careful when you're running it, which is not ideal. So having this issue fixed as soon as possible is going to be, I think, a high priority for Evga. Okay, so what does it mean for Evga owners? Do you have to be worried if you own an Evga for the Win or Superclock 1070 or 1080 or 1060 that are affected by this issue? What should you do? Well, right now, I wouldn't recommend panicking just yet. This is still only 2 cases of the reported issue. Obviously, there could be more, but until that happens, I wouldn't panic just yet. All cards have a theoretical possibility of having this happening. Potentially, it could be a coincidence of it happening to 2 Evga cards. Although the chances are low, I wouldn't rule out that as a possibility just yet. That being said, if you have not applied the BIOS update or have had thermal mod installed, then I would do it as soon as possible. You can contact Evga. They'll send you the free thermal mod to you, and you can install it yourself, or you can even ship it back to them and they'll have it installed for you. I recommend doing this as soon as possible. I don't think it's worth waiting, and I would not risk using an Evga card that does not have this fixed as of right now. Now, keep in mind, this is still a fairly new line of product. The Evga 10 series card have been out for less than a year, and if they're having serious issues like these already, then it does not bode well for the products down the line, especially because, let's say in 3 years, for example, your card works fine, but after 3 years, your warranty is up, then your card explodes. Well, unfortunately, as good as Evga customer service is, they're not going to be covering it because it's out of warranty, and this will affect the price of used Evga products, especially their 10 series that have this issue, and it will decrease the resale value of your card. So if you are buying a Evga card, keep that in mind. If you already own one, then there's not much you can do. However, if you can, maybe sell off your card for most of what it's worth, then I might recommend doing it, although personally I wouldn't worry about all that much. Anyways, that's about it for this video. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. If you didn't like it, be sure to hit the dislike button and tell me in the comment section why. Thanks for watching and have a good day.